Hey guys, my name is Nick Tietz with ILT Studios and ILT Academy. I'm here today talking about customer discovery with the co-founders of Virtuwoof, Abby Henstein and Allie Boreum. And
Hi, Nick.
I'd love to have you guys talk about,
Hello.
tell us quick, what is Virtuwoof and how are things going?
Hey, everybody.
Go ahead,
Yeah, thanks
Abby.
for having us, Nick. My name's Abby. Nice to meet everybody. Virtual telemedicine is basically what that is. It's a telemedicine platform where you're able to communicate with your animal's veterinarian anywhere on the go, whether you're at your house, whether you're, in the car in the parking lot. You don't have to be in the veterinarian's lobby. You can communicate with them about mild and minor issues. But go ahead, Allison. Say hello.
Yeah, absolutely. You said it. It's just like telehealth for humans, but except for your animals. So getting to connect with an actual veterinarian or your vet for your pet. So, yeah.
And how are things going with the startup? Where are you at? Like, what's the latest milestone that you guys have achieved?
So our product's been in the market. We have apps, so mobile apps and a web platform. So those have been on the market now since about March. So it's been, we currently have customers on board and we're growing. We just completed our 500th virtual visit on the platform just this last week. So that was a nice milestone for us. And I think, we're just working on our next round of development and feature ads. So that's kind of where we're at.
And how many people are on the platform and how big is your startup?
We have access to probably about 20,000 pet owners locally here. And then, of course, many others nationwide.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, I know, one of the things that, we wanted to share with other founders is, some of the customer discovery work that you guys did. You guys were early adopters of some of our ILT Academy processes and, learning how to validate your market and your customer, when you guys were in the early idea stage. And so we wanted to spend just a little bit of time so you guys could share what that was like, because it's not easy work. It's not hard work. But as a founder, I just wanted other people to hear your perspective, because I know from our conversations, it's really helped guide your path. And so I kind of wanted to, kick it off with asking, what were you doing before you started doing your customer discovery work? How did you think that this was a good idea? How did you know your market? And then what is it that you did? And then can you talk about what was it like, to do customer discovery?
Yeah, so I think starting out, before we ever kicked off our development, we were really just throwing around this idea and kind of validating it. We, of course, I'm sure like any of you, we go to our friends and family first, right? That's kind of your first litmus test if they think you're crazy or if they think it's awesome, So we were really just kind of gauging a lot of people in our personal network, and which was validating. People were like, oh yeah, I'd love to use that. That's great. But it's something that, it was limiting a little bit, because I think people that know you and love you, they want you to succeed. So they're going to, they might be a little biased in their responses to you about what you're planning on building. So that's kind of where we started before we talked to Nick and ILT. They kind of helped us formalize that process a little bit and kind of get outside our comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
And Abby, can you tell me a little bit about, what were some of the things that you guys did?
So as Allison mentioned, we were interviewing our friends and family, as Nick suggested, and encouraged us to get outside of our comfort zone. What we did end up doing is basically we would go to a Nextdoor app, which is maybe some of you have, maybe you don't, basically to connect with pet owners in our neighborhood that we don't probably know. Basically just asking them a subset of questions pertaining to kind of getting this app up and moving. Would they use it? Would they like it? What would they use it for, kind of a thing. And just to kind of step back a little bit, we have two customers. So our customer is the pet owner and then also the veterinarian. one of the things that I really, I'm just kind of looking here at one of the interviews that we actually did complete with a veterinarian, how kind of questions that we asked her to open her eyes to, hey, this could really be successful in your clinic. She was really excited when she said to me, Abby, I wouldn't have to wake up at 2:30 in the morning anymore and rush to the hospital to, meet a patient that they think is really in distress, which, to me, it could wait until the end of the week. Just kind of that gauging that level of emergency through our app. That's just one use case that we really were able to double down on and kind of understand from a vet's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. And you guys actually, I know we worked on, some different scripts. Allie, you said, I think you even pulled out a script that you still carry that around.
Yep. That's all my notes. Yeah, we printed off. So Nick, you helped us kind of put together these empathy interview scripts, and we had one script that was set up for pet owners that we were interviewing, and one script with different questions that we had developed for our veterinarians that we were talking to. So, there's definitely different questions and different challenges that you want to uncover for both of those. So you helped us kind of formalize that, and it really helped us, really get consistency in our answers, which I think was really important. When you're just talking to somebody off the cuff, the conversation can kind of go in different directions, but having a more formal structure, then you can compare answers to the exact same questions from each person and start to identify patterns and what really is going to bring value to the product. So that was very, very helpful.
I think it was really neat, guys, when you came back with the data and the insights, and that you were able to talk to different customer types and really segment them out, both on the pet owner side, but then also on the veterinary side, and see where the common themes were, but then also where the differences were. I know it was a while ago, but what did you learn by doing that? And like what were some of the surprises and insights that that popped out?
Yeah. So one, we got to learn a little bit about what people's perceptions were of their veterinarians and what that visit experience was like, and what some of the frustrations were from the pet owner side in regard to transparency with pricing, awareness of what you might have to pay coming in. And there's also, just things like that. It's kind of just, you're able to get inside the mind of your potential customer a little bit more. So things like that. I mean, and Abby, if you want to talk about some of the veterinarian side too,
yep,
or anything else that you remember.
Yes. And then to add on what Allison's saying from the pet perspective, where she's mentioned hey, me as a pet owner, I want a little bit more transparency into what I'm paying. Well, the flip side would be, the veterinarian, where one of our actually leading features or differentiators on our platform is we actually allow our veterinarians to decide what they want to charge for different visits, whether they have to connect by live video, by live chat, like a FaceTime, for example, they can charge a little bit more. Whereas some of our competitors out there, they're actually saying, all right, this is your go-to-market. This is what you have to charge per call. But veterinarians in different clinics are based in different geographic areas, whether it be rural, metropolitan, and we give them that option to choose exactly what they wanted to charge their visitors. So we give them the freedom there.
Cool. That's really cool. That's really interesting. I know that there were a lot of things that you guys unpacked, and so what did that, at the end of the day, we're doing this to validate our ideas and figure out which hypotheses were correct, where were we incorrect, and then what do we need to change. But at the end of the day, you guys did some pretty cool things after you got this feedback. Tell me, what did you do then after you finished those customer discovery interviews? What did that lead you to? What was that actionable steps?
So after we got a chance to talk to, customers on both sides, we then were able to really clearly define what we wanted our app and our process to look like. So that helped us really, we kind of had a lot of ideas in our head, but you're never quite sure what's going to work and what people are going to like and not like. But I think that really helped us define, Abby, I think that helped us define where we wanted to go and helped us kind of push us to that next step where we're like,
Well, and
okay,
it helped us
we can
define our
do this.
MVP. And that was the biggest thing that we were
Exactly.
really trying to be direct and concise on. And now
Exactly.
we're learning today, you know, a lot of our clients that we have today on board, they're paying subscription monthly fee to use the platform. They're actually giving us great suggestions as to what they want to see. So they're indirectly really helping us out for new features. And so we're not playing that guessing game, and we're not, you know, going out there and saying, hey, we really think this would be a good value add for you and your team. They're giving us some great feedback on what would be helpful for their team as it's introduced into their process internally.
Do you guys remember how many people you spoke to?
Gosh, I think we spoke to about 20 different pet owners and about, I think, 15 to 20 different veterinarians as well. We tried to get, you know, you want to do enough of these interviews where you're not, you know, one thing is not necessarily a pattern. You know, you have to hear it a couple of different times. And that's something that Nick helped guide us on. You know, don't develop it for one person or one clinic. You know, you kind of have to pick and choose what features are going to be the most valuable across the board. So that really helped us define that.
Cool. That's
Yes.
great. And how long did you guys take doing that interview part? I know these are the questions that I get from a lot of different founders, is how many people and how long should we spend doing this?
We probably spent like, are you talking about like per pet owner, or like cumulatively, how long did we spend?
A little bit of both. How long was an interview, and how long did you guys spend getting feedback? This initial
Oh my
feedback.
goodness. Well, I'll tell you what, those pet owner meetings, we honestly thought would take 10, 15 minutes, but we actually were enjoying talking to the pet owners, because if you sit down and you talk to somebody and you ask them, hey, tell me about your pet. Do you have animals? They will go on and on and on. They will show you pictures. They will say, you know, Fluffy
so
did
true.
this last week. They love talking about their pets. So those actually took, I would say, a couple of them took an hour. We were kind of looking at our watches like, oh my gosh, we've actually been talking to this pet owner for an hour, but it's been so fun. And so,
for sure.
Gosh, cumulatively, it probably took us a couple of months to assemble those.
I think so. Yeah. And scheduling with the veterinarians was a little bit more of a challenge. I think, you know, when we put out a feeler on Nextdoor and on some of the Facebook pet community groups, people were really quick to want to, you know, they're easily ready to jump on the phone with us that day or the next day. So that was, but we probably, I think you're right, Abby, over the course of maybe like 6 weeks, a couple months.
Cool. Yep. That's great. Well, guys, I really appreciate your time. Like, this was great insights we wanted to share with other founders and students that are coming through our academy. You know, this is such a critical step in making sure that you're working on the right thing, solving the right problem, and ultimately building the right product. And I think it's really paid off in the work that I've seen you guys do, the platform that you have, and now even the press that you guys have received. I know you guys just recently were featured in Wired magazine, and I think you also mentioned on ABC. Can you tell me, tell us really quick about that?
Yeah, so we were named one of the top 3 veterinary telemedicine providers by Wired magazine. So that was a really great publicity for us. And then one of the local news stations, Care 11, did a story on this back earlier when the kind of pandemic had first hit, and people, you know, telehealth suddenly became the only option for a lot of people. So they did a story on us, and then ABC News as well, just about a month ago too. They did another story on vet telemedicine, and we were quoted in that story as well. So
that's really cool.
Yeah, it feels good to get your name out there and people, you know, starting to recognize your company. It makes all this time and all these notes makes it worth
worth it.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's awesome, guys. Well, again, thank you so much. We really appreciate you guys sharing your story. And I look forward to hearing more. And of course, we want to continue to help, getting people to Virtuwoof and sign up on the platform. So if you have a pet, go to virtuwoof.com. And I'm super happy for you guys, super proud. So great job.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Nick.
Yep.
All right. See you guys.
All right. Thank you.